of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
You're now listening to INCRadio United Kingdom Satellite Studio.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone tuning in on INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. And I am Sister Sandy Grace Medina from the local congregation of Dublin South in the District of Ireland. And again, thank you so much for everyone joining us here on this lovely Sunday afternoon, the 6th of October 2024. And it's just 6 minutes past 5 o'clock. And again, you're welcome to INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. And I'm not here by myself. I'm here with Sister CJ. Hi, Sister CJ.
Hello, Sister San. Hello to everyone tuning in to INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. And I am very happy to be here with you today. How are you?
I'm actually right now. It was really cool when I got in here in the local congregation of Dublin. I'm in Dublin right now, but it's really warm right now. But when I was trying to make my way here, it's really cold and chilly. But now the sun is beaming and I'm hot. So, what about you?
I'm very well. I'm very well, actually. I know it's getting colder now in this part of the world. And last time that I was on radio, we were actually discussing about new season, autumn. So yes, we are entering a new season, and I hope everyone is keeping safe, and I hope you guys are well. But for today's program, let me tell you what to expect. So for today, we will be discussing, of course, like what we have mentioned, the topic, which is the inspiring work of the church administration. Very, very timely for the month of October. And also our CFO, a Christian Family Organization in Action, where we will showcase and share with you the different activities that were conducted in this part of the world. So as you know, INC Radio UK comprises of 3 districts now. And you know how the church is growing, and we are now in 3 parts: the District of Ireland, District of Britain North, and District of Britain South. So we will be discussing those activities, and we will show you what the brethren have been up to in this part of the world. Isn't that exciting, Sister San?
Yes, whenever I get a chance to see the many activities in the District of Britain South and Britain North as well, it's so nice to see all of the brethren who were just part of one district in the beginning, and now we're 3 district in the umbrella of INC Radio United Kingdom. And it's so nice to see and hear, and most especially when we hear about the many activities being conducted in those 3 districts. And again, Sister CJ, we're just so excited to discuss together our topic discussion for this afternoon. And there's so much that we want to unpack, right? And also, we do encourage everyone joining us on our YouTube link. Please do answer our questions along with us, because we know we would like to hear your own input as well as we answer along. And we want to share it with our listeners and our viewers to get them inspired as well, because there's so much inspiration we get from the church administration as members of the Church of Christ, and most especially as officers inside the Church of Christ. So, Sister CJ, let's get the ball rolling with our first question, right?
Yes, definitely. So for our first question, do you want me to ask it first?
Yes, no, go ahead.
Okay, so for those of you who are tuning in as well on the TLC, the Team Live Chat. So as members of the Church of Christ, how do you feel the love and concern of the church administration? And we were discussing this earlier, me and Sister Sen. Do you want to go first?
Sometimes when you hear the question, it's a bit daunting
Yes.
because there's so much to say, right, for this particular question. But as we've discussed even before our live program, the one of the things that I continue to that continuously remind me of the love and of the church administration is just the fact that we were once part of one district,
District.
and now we are three districts in INCRadio United Kingdom, and it just goes to show that the church administration feels the need to bring the church closer and closer to the brethren, and also to share the holy gospel to so many people all around those three districts, and along with that, to help with the expanding network of the church in those three districts. There is so many evangelical workers and ministers being brought to the countries of Ireland and the United Kingdom to help out with the work, and the ministers and workers looking after us really goes to show the concern they have for us spiritually, and how much each of them has the mindset of the church administration along with them they bring along as they move to different local congregations all over the district. And yeah, that's one of the things that remind me of, and how reminds me of like the how concerned and the love of the church administration for each and every one of us members of the Church of Christ. What about you, Sister CJ?
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. I agree with what you said. We are now closely cared for or monitored by the church administration by sending more ministers and ministerial workers closely to us. So that's one of their ways to make us feel their love. And I love that even though we are far in distance from the
Mhm.
church administration, I love that they have extensions, not just the ministers and workers, evangelical workers, but also the officers. For me, I feel the love and concern of the church administration, and I know that a lot of our brethren also relate to this through the activities. There are so many activities, and I love that in different parts of the world. So now I have friends from all over the world, and there are so many things going on. And like we said earlier in our intro, we will be discussing, or we will be sharing different things from the CFO in action. So CFO. So for those of you who are tuning in and don't know what that is, so CFO, Christian Family Organization, comprises of the Buklod, Kadiwa, Binhi, and also CWS. So the Buklod, those who are married in the church, couples in the church. Kadiwas, those who are 18 and above, already baptized and single, not married. And then Binhis are the ones at 12 and above, baptized and not yet married. Yes. And then CWS, Children's Worship Service. So in those particular departments, there are specific activities catered for each one. And I love that there are different topics, like, for example, like what we mentioned earlier, mental health, music, arts, arts and crafts, creativity, I don't know, like writing, so many. There are so many, and it branches out. And I love that it is well thought of by the church
Yes.
administration. They are. We truly know that they are guided by our Almighty God, because they know exactly what we go through. They
Mhm.
know what we need, and through those activities, and example, sports. That's one big thing in the Church of Christ. Unity games. So through those activities, the church administration, I feel they're trying to reach out to us. That's how they reach out to us. For example, I'm okay, one thing was during the pandemic, I'm not good at cooking, but then um there were so many activities even online that they were doing demonstrations on how to do this, how to do that, and the church administration approved of those activities. so that we can learn from each other. And I love that. I love learning, and that's one of the ways that I feel the love and concern of the church administration, and we are very thankful because it keeps
Yes.
going. It keeps
Like I
getting
feel like for us members of the Church of Christ, the church administration really looks at every aspect of our lives as Christians. And as you've mentioned already, sports is a big thing for all of us members in the Church of Christ, and they'd like to nurture that. They like to nurture all of our interests, but in a a Christian manner.
yes,
Um, and like even just bringing up activities for the children, like for example the arts and crafts. There are so many creative little children under our care, and they'd like to nurture their creativity and how much they are really into like getting their putting work together with their hands. So like whenever there's activities like that, I really look forward to it because
yeah,
there's so many artsy
and
brethren
they
in.
can showcase their talents,
Yes,
not just in
exactly.
music, but also
Hmm.
creative arts. And it's just, yeah, it comes
And
out like
yeah.
I love that these activities, they build you up, like as a
Hmm.
person, they help you grow. And I think that's a great love from the church administration, not only um providing activities, but it helps you grow as an individual as well, or as a family, or as officers in the church.
And also, Sister CJ, like looking back, like when we first spoke about how we were one part of one district in the beginning, but remember in the early 2000s, we were we're just part of Northern Europe, right, as the district. And like whenever me and my friends talk about it, especially my friends here in Dublin, we reflect back on the time that when we were just a group worship service, even as a group worship service of Dublin, and we were um, whenever there's ministers, we get really excited
Yes.
because when we were part of Northern Europe. Whenever we have our worship service, it's either a pre-recorded DVD of preaching.
Yes, yes, I experienced that too.
Yeah, and there was one point it was only audio actually, and yeah, and there was like during that time, whenever ministers would visit our local congregation or group worship service at that time, everybody gets really, really excited
Yes.
because a minister is visiting our congregation, and then our preaching would be live, right? So we get so excited, and when we look back on that time, we're just so grateful that now we are our own district, District of Ireland, and then the ministers are just so much closer to us. They're like a
Mhm.
phone call away. Even for some brethren, they're just a couple of minutes drive away. So whenever there's pressing concerns, like something that needs to be addressed, they're so much closer to us. And even just putting together any kind of last minute activities, it could happen because they're just there, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, yeah. And also, like, not only for the ministers and the chapels that we
Yes.
have right now, and here in the UK and in Ireland, there are
Hmm.
so many beautiful chapels, and I feel that that's one of the major things also, that to show the church administration's great love for the brethren, is for us to have our own houses of worship, where we
Yes.
grew up, here in abroad. For those maybe our brethren in the Philippines, there are so many chapels. In the next town, you have one, but abroad, we were brought up, setting up in halls,
Yes.
in other places of worship, in the dako, or yeah, other rented halls or rented places that we can go to for worship service. And so when we were able to acquire, or renovate places of worship, that's like, such a great blessing for those
Yes.
of us here in abroad. And yeah, that's one of the ways. Yeah, I wanted to point that out because you said about the ministers and how the church is now growing
Hmm. And
in those.
also the fact that whenever we're like, I don't know if you share the same kind of experience, whenever we're in an actual chapel, like just the feel of having that chapel being put together once, like mostly in most of the chapels here in the United Kingdom and in Ireland, they previously are churches from another religion.
Yes.
So when you see the process of how the church was like before and now it's a church for Church of Christ, it's such a like overwhelmingly good experience, because like it's been fixed in a way that is in keeping with how the Church of Christ churches should be. And it's just an amazing kind of feeling when you're inside in a newly established chapel. I don't know if you feel like that the
Yes,
same
oh
way.
yes, definitely. And I wanted to shout out actually Sister Kim and Sister Casey because I'm in Cardiff, Wales now, to send. So I was from Newport, Wales, but because the church is growing,
Mhm.
we zoned out, and now that we rent halls, I was worshiping in the chapel for so many years, and then because the church is growing, we were then able to have our own local congregation. So I don't see the chapel as much as I used to. And so, but when Sister Kim and Sister Casey, hello, shout out to them, visited me, we were able to pray together at the chapel, and that's yes, I agree. I It's a different feeling whenever we are at the chapel, and I wish that we have our own chapel too,
Yeah,
very soon.
yeah, it's the inspiration for all of the brethren that one day everyone will have their own place of worship that
Yes,
they could go to, and there will be a time that everybody is just inviting everybody in our own place of worship for worship service or even for evangelical mission, and that's our hope, everyone's hope.
yes.
And that brings us, Sister CJ, to the next question that we have. And we do hope that everyone would join us to answer this question, the next one. What recent events or activities in your life highlight the guidance and care of the church administration to all of us members and officers alike?
Wow, where do I begin? I just mentioned, and that's one of the ways that the church administration has great love or show their great love and concern for the churches through the activities, and we have
Yeah, you've
had so
met.
many.
Yeah, there's just so many, and like we mentioned already, like a couple of things, like for the children's worship service and the Benhis and the Kadiwa, and we also spoke about even before the live program, Sister CJ, how many social media content we have in the church directly deals with the things that are very timely in the lives of the youth in the church, right?
Definitely, definitely. And I love how like what we said, with so much going on in this world, the church administration really thinks about what is very timely or what we need, what we really need in our lives. So, for example, I just want to mention the most recent youth summit that we had back in May or June, I think, where the Brother Jojo Bayani, a minister of the gospel, he discussed with a sister in the faith. I think she's a doctor of something. They discussed about mental health, and that's very, that's a big thing right now, especially for the youth. And I love that the church administration also tackled those kinds of issues and other things, like the other things that branches out from mental health. And they want to be able to teach us on, or properly guide us on how to deal with those things. And especially what do you call it, it's based on biblical teachings as well. And I love how they were able to link those two together, because there are so many youth right now, some of them are, even myself, like I'm kind of scared to ask questions, but then those kind of youth summit, they answer a lot of those questions. And like we said, God leads guides the church administration, and so those issues were able they were able to tackle it during those summits. And other you know media, INC media content.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, Sister CJ, what we've also mentioned before, it's so nice to see that whenever the church administration puts together a content like that for us youth and also for the entire church, it's in tandem with the scientific method and also the biblical way, and it just goes to show that our Almighty God is for all of the scientific um, studies,
Yes.
that it backs up the biblical teaching that we get in the church, that it's not, the two things are not opposing each other, but it's actually supporting what's already written in the Bible. And it just goes to show that God's way is the way,
Mhm.
and like it's supported by scientific studies already. And even like allowing our younger brothers and sisters to hear about that, it's just it emphasizes on what we already know, right?
Yes.
And also I haven't mentioned this before when we were talking about it before we went live. I also like how in our previous lessons in the worship service, it's about, the topic is about the children and the parents.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, they feel the need, the church administration feels the need to educate us, us children, and then remind us of our role and our responsibilities as children, and also along with that the parents, to guide them on what they need to do, because as you've said, there's so many worries and concerns of individuals, and
Mhm.
also worries and concerns of the parents, and
Mhm.
how they should handle it as parents of a generation right now, and also as parents inside the Church of Christ, because how do you deal with so many influences and problems?
Yeah.
So like that's why whenever I hear about topics like that, I'm spiritually strengthened, and also it just sparks your interest, because you're not only kind of taking notes as a child of what am I neglecting, or what do I still need to do as
Yeah.
children, but also you look forward. Okay, this is what I need to do as a future parent, and what are the do's and don'ts, kind of things like that. And also, along with that, are topics or lessons for the children's worship service. So, for those who are
Yes,
quite
very
new,
timely.
yes, those who are quite new in the Church of Christ and are still finding out about the things going on inside the Church of Christ, there are two separate worship services for us members. So there's one for the adults and there's ones for the children. So the ones for the children's worship service, it's very timely because they deal with topics like social media and the influences in the social media, bullying. I think it was like done a few months back or
Mm,
something like that.
yeah.
And then
And how to deal with like the community, how we should give. Oh, I was trying to remember the lesson yesterday. Yeah, giving back and helping
yes,
out. Yes, not only the
and
brothers and sisters in the faith, but also
mhm.
the community. I love
Yeah,
that.
because as children, they often hear about people volunteer working and like helping people in need. But as members of the Church of Christ, we're directed to be the ones helping the poor and the needy. That's biblical, And then whenever we hear children learning about it, then they realize, yes, I should be the ones, I should be the first one helping out through like activities like even toy donation or even like food banks and stuff,
Yes, yes, yes. And it trains them well. Like they go,
Yes.
oh yes, this is a good thing to do. I'm gonna do it when I grow up. And yeah, like what you said, Sister Sen, it's biblical. And so
And you know what? Like I wanted to point out there are some children in Dublin South and Belfast that actually like really inspired me because they're so little, but in so many ways they're so mature already. Because even like the likes of if I'll give you an example. We were doing an activity and there was like a huge spread of food, and then there were sweets and stuff. And then some of
yeah,
the children like would take one for themselves. And I noticed this brother, he took a couple, and I was like watching him. I was like, why did he take so much? And
yeah,
then I didn't realize he took a couple, but then he brought it over to his group of friends to
share.
give it out. Yeah, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
so cute. And he was only like 5, and I was like, oh,
you
it just
thought
goes
you
to
thought he was
show.
gonna keep it to himself.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that they take to heart what they learn in the children's
Definitely.
worship service,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. Oh, yes. And that interlinks with our question number two, with the activities. We've mentioned so many already, from
Yes.
music, from sports, from arts and crafts, poem making, and everything that we can think of. There are activities and outreach. Care for Humanity. We know that this month we will do a lot of Care for Humanity activities in the church, and we are looking forward to that.
And
Um,
also, Sister CJ, I'd like to point out as well. Like, I know we mentioned the arts, like how the church administration nurtures our interests, right? The church administration also helps out our brethren who have interest in multimedia. You know, right now, I believe this is the period where there's going to be screenings of in cinema films. So these are films produced in the different districts or different local congregations and the many districts all around the world. So many of our brethren who are very much film or a um, videographer kind of like have videographer interests, and those who are like into script writing and stuff like that, activities like this that church administration put together enables those brethren to exercise their interest in script writing and even
yes,
songwriting as well, or even like filming,
yes,
right?
those are good actually, even for people like me, because I'm not very good at, with my words. And so, like, those seminars and those activities, they can, I learn a lot. They need to, I need to participate
And
in those more.
yeah, and you don't realize how much talent we have in the church up until you see brethren
Yes.
taking
Oh,
part in activities like that. Like those brethren that you're like, oh, but like I see them in the worship services, and they turn out that they're good actors, you know?
yes, or like designers. Hello, Sister Elora.
Yes, yes,
She's from
yes.
here. They like, the different leaflets that you see, the pamphlets. There are brethren who design those things, and just, yeah, just wow.
Yeah, and shout out to our brethren in the United Kingdom as well, because there's so many of our brethren who are good at editing videos or
Yes,
film.
definitely.
And it's very evident in the production that we have, not only on INC Radio, but in the so many social media platforms that we have. But yeah, we do feel the guidance of the church administration through those many activities. Now, I know, Sister CJ, that we've touched on like some of the last question that we have there. Now, how does the tireless and inspiring works motivate you in your personal life, as well as personal life, as well as your life as a member or an officer in the Church of Christ?
Um, how does it inspire me or motivate me? The church administration's love. Um, I don't know where to begin. It's gonna make me emotional. Um, I feel that, like what we mentioned earlier, Sister Sun, the church is growing so quickly, so vast, and I feel that, and I know that everyone feels the same way. The way it grows, I think we need, or I feel that I need to keep up with it. I feel that I also need to progress within myself. And so how I see the church, like what we mentioned earlier, from not having our own place of worship to having our own, and then these kinds of platforms where we can share the good news of salvation, good news of the activities going on this part of the world. It's just so fast and so amazing to see. And I know there will be a lot more. I feel that as a person, I need to keep up with that. I also need to grow. I also need to, grow in my faith as well. And so I strive to be at that level. And so, with my duties, with everything that's going on, I'm very grateful that I have my duties, because I wouldn't know. There's so much negativity in the world, and I love that I'm part of this church, and being able to see it myself, like what we discussed earlier. I know you have a good answer for this one, and we will discuss that in a bit. But yeah, I feel that I have to keep up with how the church is growing as well, and that's how it motivates me, see, as well as the brethren, actually, seeing them grow, being more active, being more, they participate in so many activities, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that too. Like, I want to be able to help the church in that way. Yeah. I think that's how I'm going to answer that question.
And like also, Sister CJ, like we've mentioned this before the program, right? Like we zone in on the word keep up because of the
Yes. Yeah.
speed of how everything is just happening inside the Church of Christ, the growth and the work involved in how the church is growing. We need to keep up and step up
Yeah.
because even before, when we look back on our own work individually as officers, we don't realize how much improvement we could still do as
Mhm.
officers. And
Yes.
that's
Always, there's always room for improvement.
Yes, exactly. And that's highlighted by the church administration, most especially Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, um, that even though we're working hard right now, there's still so many chances for us to
Yeah.
improve the way that we perform our duties. And the Brother Eduardo reflects that on us because he works so hard for the sake of the church,
Mm.
and that is reflective on the many activities that we've just mentioned, along with the topics of the lessons that we receive during the worship services. Um, and also, I get reminded of it, and I get motivated how I should improve the way I perform as an officer with, like, whenever we attend like Balikbayan, whenever we go back to the Philippines. So
Mm.
Balikbayan Day is the chance for those who live abroad outside of the Philippines to get a chance to have to see or to get a chance to talk to Brother Eduardo and also the church administration, to spend a little bit of time with them. And
Yeah.
I feel the concern they have for us because they are already so busy, and they carve out a little bit of their time to talk to us, to shake our hand, to check up on us because they're just so curious to know about what's happening in our own districts and in our own local congregation. So like whenever I reflect on times that I get a chance to do that, I'm just um, so much more motivated personally as an officer, and also I reflect on the fact that is there still so much more that I could do. What else could I do for the church whenever I get a chance like that? Because our brother Eduardo is so busy, but the,
Yes.
somehow he could still have a chance to talk to us.
And you want to be like that. And
Yes, and you want to be like that, and you want to reflect that in your own life. And I
yes.
know we also have our personal life apart from our church life, right? And
Mm.
you want to reflect the same drive that you have for your duties in your professional life. Um,
Yes.
for me, like the way it's been like for my own life in the last couple of years, I organize my church life first, and it reflects back on my professional life.
Yeah.
And I feel like what's been happening right now for my own life actually is like the discipline that I have for my church duties as an officer and also as a member. That's how I do my own job in my own personal job.
Yeah.
Um,
You can implement that on everything else.
yes, because like it just like in a way it helps you kind of organize yourself, but also it's a nice discipline to have,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yes, of course. And that's also one of the ways that we feel the love and concern of church administration. We are disciplined in that way. And you can differentiate actually, if you're a Church of Christ member. And this is what Eduardo says all the time. Like, you can tell if someone is a Church of Christ member because they're always smiling.
Yes, it's like I think he mentioned it in one of his lessons before. It doesn't look like a church member has problems, but
Yeah.
in reality, they're dealing with so much. But they have this kind of um, a positive um, uh, face that they show the world, which is true because you receive the gospel of our Almighty God, and you're always renewed, and you always have a positive mindset,
Mm.
looking out into the world.
Yeah.
So it reflects on your face. So
Yep.
yeah,
Definitely. Always hopeful. You're
yes,
always
yes.
hopeful.
And Sister CJ, that brings us to the end of our topic
That
discussion.
was
It just
it.
flew by.
That's so much to say.
Yeah, me too. But yes, and I do think there's so many of our brethren and our listeners that joined in and answered. But we'll bring our topic discussion to a close. But don't be afraid. This is just one part of our program this afternoon. But we will have a short break, and we will be playing an INC music video called Windstorm. So please do join in and listen to this original Iglesia Ni Cristo CMV called Windstorms, and we will be singing along in the background, and we'll see you in a couple of moments. And okay, we're back. And we will just be discussing quickly our Christian Family Organization in action before we play our CMV, Sister CJ. So we'll go ahead and discuss some of the activities that we conducted in the districts of Ireland, District of Britain North, and Britain South. And while we are waiting for our CMV to be played in later part of our program, we will be reporting to you about the first activity that we had in our District of Ireland, which is Haligi film screening or Haligi Pillar, which is an activity that is launched all over the world where we had a chance to watch a film produced by CEBSI. So it's Christian Eagle Broadcasting Services Incorporated. And then our brethren all over the world got a chance to watch this film. Produced by CEBSI, and you'll be seeing in a couple of moments some of the photos that were taken on that day in in the area of Port Leash. So that is a county, or yes, an area in the county of Leash here in the Republic of Ireland. And so many of our brothers and sisters join in from the local congregations of Dublin, Dublin South, local congregation of Port Leash, along with the group worship services of Kilkenny. And as you can see there, our theater was filled with our brethren who are so eager to be part of this activity, and joining them along with that activity is their guests on that day. They shared that this film is the message in the film is the way that all of us in the Church of Christ we how we live our lives. So in a way, it's our way of sharing our faith through film showing or film screening. And again, as you can see there, our brethren brought their guests, and then it was led by our district supervising minister, Brother Pipito Acosta, along with our ministers in the church as well. And then after that, we also conducted many more film screenings in our own local congregations all over the Republic of Ireland. And we do encourage everyone to tune in because we have so much more photos that we want to showcase to everyone so that you could see how everyone in the District of Ireland conducted their own film screening in their own local congregation. And I know, Sister CJ, that you've conducted a film screening for your local congregation as well, or your area, right?
Yes, yes, Sister Sen. We were able to actually. I wasn't here, so I haven't really watched Haligi yet. So I'm gonna ask the local congregations nearby if they're going to conduct, or maybe we can do another film screening. But
Yes.
we have done so here in Newport, Wales and Cardiff, Wales, and I know that brethren as well in Britain North have also done a Haligi Pillar film screening. But yes, we do encourage everyone's talking about it, and I'm really
Yes.
jealous because I really want to watch it. I was in
Like
Italy when it was shown, so
you'll get to see why the brethren in the photos were teary eyed.
yeah, they were, yeah, yes,
There
I
were
I
moments that
noticed.
will get you very, very teary eyed, or even kind of like stopping yourself to go and sob somewhere because there
Yeah,
are moments that really kind of drive like very strong emotions
yeah,
when it's on
hit
screen.
you hard. It hits you hard.
Yes. I won't spoil it for you, but yes, please do go see it in a local congregation near you, and we
I
do
will.
encourage everyone to see that as well in their own local congregation closest to them. So that brings us to the second part of our CFO in action. So again, it's the Christian Family Organization in Action segment, and that brings us to the second activity, which is Belfast area evangelical mission. And as you can see in the photos there, our brethren from the local congregation of Belfast brought their friends, their loved ones, their colleagues all together to be part of this evangelical mission, um, so that they may continue to hear and share the gospel of our Almighty God. And again, this was led by our district supervising minister, Brother Pepito Acuesta, along with the ministers in the area of Belfast. So that's Brother Rob Polancos there, and so also Brother Carlito Cruz. And we'd like to say hello to them. I know they're really they're watching us right now, and they're busy also conducting their evangelical missions in their clusters. So I'd like to say hello to them. And again, all of the brethren in the local congregation of Belfast, hello to you, brothers and sisters. And also, I'd like to mention as well, like during our topic discussion, like the growth of how we are inspired by the love and care of the church administration to the expansion of the church. I remember when Belfast was just inaugurated as a chapel, and
Oh
now
yes,
we're actually next this month, we're celebrating the 10th year anniversary.
10 years already.
Yes.
I was just in Birmingham as well the other day, and that's 10 years
Yes,
as
and
well.
you get the
Wow.
feels, right? You're like,
Yes.
I imagine, I remember myself attending
Yes.
as a member inaugurating this chapel, and now it's been 10 years.
Years.
Time
Wow.
flies.
Yes, time flies, and we
Yes,
love
it's
it.
yeah, and that's why, like, we'd like to say congratulations to all of our brethren there in the local congregation of Belfast. And there's so much news that we would like to share with you in the next couple of weeks about our brethren there in the local congregation of Belfast. So please continue to tune in on INCRadio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. And that brings us to our last activity, right, Sister CJ?
Yes, we are looking forward to those activities. But the last activity that we will feature on today's program is the Britain South Portsmouth INC Giving School Crossing Officer Appreciation. Um, as you can see with some visual aids, our brethren from that part of the district down south, they conducted an appreciation day for those um,
Our
officers.
lollipop ladies.
Our lollipop ladies, yes, we do call them lollipop ladies or lollipop man. Those
Mhm,
for those of you who don't know what that is, so they are the ones who, um, after school or maybe before school, actually, just
mhm.
before school, after school, they are the ones waiting by the zebra crossings. So here in the UK, we have crossings where the pedestrians can cross, obviously, to go to
Yeah.
the other side of the road, and we do have officers that help the children and
Mhm.
even the adults, the
Yes.
parents, to cross, and they hold this prop or this metal
The
thing,
lollipop.
like a lollipop, like a big lollipop. That's why we call it lollipop lady, lollipop man. And yeah, they help the children to cross the road. And so our brethren from Portsmouth were able to do an appreciation day for them. And we know we've had Police Appreciation Day, firefighters, but this one is for
Teachers.
the Teachers Appreciation Day.
Mhm.
Yes, this one is for the school crossing officer. Well done to our
Yes.
brethren from Portsmouth. and you have inspired us to do the same activity out here in Wales and in Ireland. And
Yes.
so, please help us out with our project outline and request, please.
When we were talking about this before the show, right? Like we sometimes overlook the staff that actually helps out in that part of the school, right? Because they've been integrated in our community so much
Yes,
that
yes,
like sometimes I don't want to say it, but sometimes it feels there it's so normal to see them that sometimes you forget to appreciate them, that
yeah,
they're taking out some time in their lives to help out the children, the school children, to safely arrive to school or go back to their homes. So again, local congregation of Portsmouth, we really want to copy your
yeah, yeah. We
activity.
love that. We love that.
Yes, it's so nice to see. And again, congratulations to our young brothers and sisters as well who took part in this activity.
Yeah,
And
and
it
they
just
give out cards and then
Mhm.
packages, I think, for those who attended the activity. And we do as part of the INC Giving Project. Again, another activity of the church administration, approved by the church administration to show not only love for us, but also for the community. There you go.
And then, Sister CJ, that actually brings us to the end of our Christian Family Organization.
Already?
Yeah, in action segment already. And we're so close to our closing segment already. But before we do that, we would like to give our greetings first, right, Sister CJ?
Yes, yes. We hope that you've learned a lot, so much, and can relate to everything that we have discussed today in today's program. And we sure hope that you are, continuing also to be united with the church administration, because they do um, appreciate and show their love and great concern for each and every one of us. We are very grateful. Before we end our program today, we first would like to greet our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manolo. Happy birthday po for the end of the month. And we'll take this opportunity from all of us here on INC Radio UK. Happy birthday, Brother Eduardo V. Manolo. Our Christian Family Organization Coordinator, hello, Brother Angelo Aranyo V. Manolo. We would also like to greet our District Supervising Ministers of Britain South, Brother Harley Alcantara and family. We miss you po. Brother Anthony Pena and his family, hello po. And our District Supervising Ministers in that was Brother Anthony Pena in Britain North. It's so confusing. There are so many districts. And Brother Pepito Aquesta in the District of Ireland. And yes, we would also like to extend our warm greetings to the rest of the ministers and workers in the districts of Britain South, Britain North, and Ireland. Sister
It's
Stan,
always it's always a
big
mouthful, Sister
family now.
CJ. There's so many districts already
Yes,
in the in INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio, and again, there's so many of our brethren who joined in and shared their messages on the live chat, and we really do appreciate every time that
yes,
you share your comments with us here on INC Radio. And also we want to give a big shout out to the ministers that gave a shout out today. I saw Brother Seth
that's
Hebrew
here.
always
Brother
commenting on
Mark
our
Serrano.
yes, and also Kamarkfal and also Kaglen Jing. Like to say hello to
Aglan
all of
Jay.
you. We saw your messages and we're so
Oh,
grateful Paul, for spending a
yes.
little bit of your time with us.
And
And
there were
there's
so many evangelical workers too. Ka
yes, and
Sean, Ka EJ, Ka Jan, Ka Derek.
yes, hello everyone, and hello Paul for spending a little bit of your Sunday afternoon with us. And you know, our usual brethren who always tune in on INC Radio United Kingdom,
Yes.
Sister Lani King, always.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Brother
Sister Lani.
Ivan.
Yes,
My
as
wife.
well. And also our INC Radio crew members. Sister Kim, I saw you there
Yes.
commenting. And we'd like to say hello to Sister Carla as well. We saw your
Jane.
comments as well. Thank you so much, Sister Carla. And there's so many more. And Sister Christina Hebrew as well. We saw your message well. And thank you so much for sharing your comments and on live chat. And yes, that brings us to the end of our program. And for those who are just catching up, you could still replay our program. So don't be afraid, just type in INC Radio United Kingdom and today's date, and you could rewatch our program and rewatch all of the parts of our live program, our program, all the segments, CFO in action, and also our topic discussion for this afternoon. So don't be afraid, you could rewatch it. rewatch our program. And that brings us to the end of our show on INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. Thank you so much for watching us. It's been a pleasant afternoon. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thank you so much and happy
See you
Sunday,
next
everyone.
week.
Bye.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.